Well, I think for me the most interesting aspect was, the idea of creating a sense of community when you build homes for people, and and how to do that. And I think there was a lot of talk about providing spaces inside buildings, other rooms where people may or may not want to go to do other things that they don't do at home. And I think the more interesting way of looking at this for me was actually what happens in between the buildings, the external spaces, how you try to create occasions for people to move out of the building, cross the space, and to basically meet outside your home building, and therefore the importance of the space in between the buildings and the public realm, and how to you populate that with uses that perhaps are not always possible in the developments, but from the pub to the primary school to the supermarket to a cinema. And I think that is what I found the most interesting aspect of today's. Yeah, or 300 or 400 or 600 years ago. Because at the end of the day, once you start building more than one building, people live in there, it's a piece of city, and that needs to have other uses. It's always, there is a long established tradition of how you build cities with shops and places that are not just to go and sleep at night. And so that I think is still the case today, just looking at the development high up holistically in the round, rather than sometimes what happens in residential is that you start from the inside and you work from the inside out, which is great when you're designing each individual dwelling. But when there are lots of these dwellings, I think you need to cast the net a bit wider and see how you're contributing to the existing context, urban environment where you're building, and how you're creating a new one that is successful. As a practice, we're very much about how things feel, how you touch them. Mostly to do with materials, but also with durability, with practicality, etc. So yeah, I think it's a given that when you start thinking about the small scale and the detail, you go through all these questions, and you try to envisage how things are going to be used, how people live and move around, and therefore the importance of the physical nature of materials and details. Well, I think again I go back to what I started in the fact that there were developers who are ultimately responsible for sort of initiating development in residential building cities, and how building a community starts from building the space outside your home, maybe inside the building, maybe outside the building, and looking at the public realm around.